Hi, I'm Anita. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be making a pair of trapeze earrings. This is from a book that I have. The title of the book is called Beadweaving Beyond the Basics, and the name of the author is Kassie Shaw. And what we're going to be doing today, the pattern to start these earrings, it's called Double Diamond Right Angle Weave. Abbreviation is DDRAW primer. And we're going to be starting out by doing 2 rows of double diamond right angle weave, and then we'll be adding some SuperDuos and some Bicone crystals. So to give you a quick rundown of what you're going to need, a sharp pair of scissors, of course, flat nose pliers. I'm using 6-pound Fireline in crystal today. You're also going to need a couple of ear wires and a couple of wire guardians. And I'm also using a size 12 beading needle. And you're going to be needing about 5 feet of Fireline per earring, so it'll be a total of 10 feet. You're using 11/0 seed beads. I've got these in a galvanized silver. Another accent color of 11/0 seed beads, and these are kind of like a very bright fuchsia pink. I'm also using some SuperDuos, and you want to check to make sure your SuperDuos are not blocked, that the holes are all good. And we're using 4mm Bicone and 3mm Bicone in a different color. And you'll have a complete list of the exact weights and measurements of the materials you need for today's project in the description box. If you click more below this video, you'll see a list of all the items to make today's project. So let's get started. So to start, thread your needle with your Fireline, and that's approximately 5 feet. And we're going to be leaving a long enough tail to thread our end in. So we're going to start by picking up 4 11/0s. Bring those down and leave a long enough tail to weave in. So I'm going to leave about 6 inches or so. So now you're going to bring your needle back through the first 11/0 that you put on. Pull your thread and bring that together. So you'll have like a little diamond like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to reinforce by going back through all the beads you just added. To reinforce, come back through this bead where the tail's coming out. So that's what you should have so far. So this is my tail thread on this side, and this is my working thread. So now that we have that reinforced, we're going to pick up an accent color. Now if you want a sneak peek of what we're making today, let me just pause here for a moment and show you. This is an example of what we're making today, but this is in a different color. I'm going to be doing it in a pink accent, and these are called trapeze earrings. Very pretty. The finished length on these is going to be about 2 inches. And here's what we're going to be making today in a pink, with pink and fuchsia accents. Very pretty. All right, so now that we have our base done with our 4 11/0s in silver, we're going to pick up 1 bead in the accent color and going from this 11/0 into this next 11/0. Like that. We're going to do that 3 more times. Pick up another accent color, going from this 11/0 into the next 11/0. Just pull on that so it's snug. Pick up another accent color, skipping this 11-0, going into the next 11-0. Get that tail out of the way. We've got to do that one more time. We're picking up an accent color and going into this last silver bead here. Pull that. And that's what you have so far. Looks like a little diamond. So now that we've completed that pattern, we want to continue and go through this next color bead that we just started with here. And that will complete that pattern. So now we're going to go and repeat this pattern. We're going to pick up 4 more of the galvanized silver, like that, and we're going to bring that down. So just kind of pinch that between your fingers. And we want to go back through the first silver bead we added in the opposite direction where the thread is coming out. So here's where your thread's coming out here. We want to go in through that side. And just kind of pinch your work because you want these beads to come up right next to where your existing work is, just like that. So we're going to do what we did here by adding an accent bead. And because we have this one, this is our connector, we're just going to need to add 3 of the accent colors. So we're going to pick up 1 here. I'm exiting this silver bead. I'm going into this next one right here. Just pinch that between your fingers and pull. And we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Picking up an accent color. Exiting here and going into this bead. One more time, pick up another accent color. Exiting here, and we're going in through this bead here, like that. Now once we've completed this, we're going to pass our beads through the next 5 beads. So let's go ahead and finish that. So we're going to pass our needle through the next 5 beads. So we're going through this fuchsia color here, and then the silver, the pink, the silver, and the pink. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want our needle coming out here. So we're going to continue around. Right now my thread's coming out right here on this silver bead. I'm going to go through the dark pink one. If you can do more than 1 bead at a time as you're advancing, that's fine. If not, you can do 1 bead at a time. So now I'm going to go through these 2 here, like that. And you'll constantly be rotating your work as you're doing this. Now I'm going through these next 2 beads here to complete the pattern. So that completes 2 double diamond right angle weaves, and this is the first row because we're going to be doing this, excuse me, we're going to be doing this for 2 rows. So now we're going to repeat the pattern. So I'll do this one more time with you. We're exiting this pink bead here. So we're picking up 4 more of the silver. Bring that down. And you want your needle to go through the opposite side of where your thread's coming out, like that. And if you get a gap in your work, just bring it together, pull it together. Because you want this real snug, so your square is right up against where you left off, right there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick up a dark color bead, exiting this silver bead, going through the next silver bead. Going to do that 2 more times, picking up a dark bead, exiting here, going through this next one. And 1 more time, exiting here, and going through this silver bead right here. Now you're going to advance to the next 5 beads. You're going through here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you should be coming out right here, like that. Okay, so we're going up through the pink bead, now I'm going to advance through these 2 beads here. If I can get that through both of them, like that. And then down through these 2 here, like that. So that's what you have so far. So far I've got 3 units. I need a total of 8 units to complete this row. So you're going to do this 5 more times. Pick up 4 silvers, bring that down, and then go back through the last silver you added, and then alternate by adding your dark color in between each set of silver, and you're going to do that 3 times, and repeat that till you get all the way to the end. And I'll meet you when we get down to the last square, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, I'm back. So I've got 7 units done. We're going to be doing the last unit here. Now my thread is coming out of this pink bead here. I'm picking up the last 4 11/0s to complete my 8th unit. Bring that down. Bringing my needle back through the opposite side of the last silver bead I added. Pull. Bring that close to your work. And now I'm going to pick up an accent bead, go through the next silver bead. And I'm going to do that 2 more times. Go through the next silver bead. Pick up another accent bead, go through this silver bead, and I'm going to also advance through this connector bead here. Now I'm going to advance through these next 2. advance through these two. That completes the 8 units. So now I have to do a second row, and to be in the correct position, I want to advance so my thread is coming out of this pink bead here. So I'm going to advance through the next 2 beads like that. Pull my thread. So that is where we need to be. So now I'm going to pick up 4 silver, and I'm going to be making 8 more units for this next row. That's why it's called diamond double right angle weave. We're doing 2 rows of right angle weave in a diamond shape. So I'm going to pick up 4 galvanized silver, bring that down, and I'm going in through the opposite side of where my thread is coming out of, right there. Pull that, and make sure you bring that square real close to your work, like that. Now that we've completed this first row, and I've started with my first square here with the new second row, my thread is coming out of this silver bead here. I'm going to be adding an accent bead 3 more times around these, here, here, and here. So let's pick up an accent bead, going through this silver bead here, like that. I'm exiting here. I'm going to pick up another accent color, go through the next silver bead, and I'm going to do that 1 more time. Pick up an accent color, go through this bead here, and the next accent bead here. Now that completes that unit. Now what I need to do is advance to the next 2 beads to get this in position coming out of this bead right here. So I'm going through the silver and the accent color. Like that. So that gets me in position to start the second row. So as you can see, we have an accent bead here and 1 here. So as we're adding our 4 units of silver, we're only going to do the accent bead twice because we've already got 2 in position. So that's how it's going to be the whole row across. So let's go ahead and pick up 4 of the galvanized silver, pull that down, and we're going to need 1 more bead. One of my beads must have jumped off. Okay, we've got the 4, and I'm going back through the opposite side of where my thread is, like that. Pull that snug. And as you can see, we want to join this with this accent bead right here. So I can get this to focus. Okay, so I'm coming out of this silver bead here. I'm going to go through this accent bead here, pull, and then I need to connect. It's going from here to here, and I'm going in through this next silver bead here. And that's going to place that second accent bead in between those two to join. So now I need to add 2 more accent beads, one here and one here. So pick up one, go through the next silver bead, like that. Pick up one more, go through the next silver bead and through the next accent bead. Now I'm going to advance my needle through 1, 2, 3, 4 more beads. So I'm going through the silver and the accent bead. And then I'm going through the next silver and the next accent bead right here, like that. So that's where you want your thread coming out of. So I'm going to do one more with you. Pick up 4 silver, bring that down, going through the opposite side of where my thread is, right here. Pull that through and make sure you don't have any slack. Pull that square right up to your work. Like that. All right. So like we did up here, I'm going to bring my needle. I'm coming out here, I'm going through this next accent bead right here. Now I'm going through the next silver bead on the square right here. Now I'm going to add an accent bead, exiting here, going through this next silver bead right here. Pick up another accent bead, exiting here, going through this next silver bead and through the accent bead right there. Now I'm going to advance through silver and the next accent bead and do that one more time to get in position for the next row. Now I'm going to advance through these next 2 beads right here. And as you can see, you're getting your second row. So you're going to do that 5 more times all the way across. And when we get down to the last square, I'll show you what the next step is. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've got 7 units done on the second row, and we're going to make 1 more unit to conclude this pattern. So right now I have my thread coming out of this accent color right there. So I'm going to pick up my last 4 11/0s of silver, bring those down, go back through the first silver of that unit, and pull that close. Now I'm going to go in through this accent color here on that last unit to bring that together. And now from here, I'm going in through this silver bead right there, pull. Now I'm going to pick up an accent color, going in through this next silver bead here, and 1 more accent bead, going into this next silver bead here. And I'm also going to advance through this accent bead here. That completes the second unit. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to advance my thread so that it is coming out of this seed bead here towards my work. So I'm going to advance. I'm going this way, up through that silver bead. And really, at this point, it doesn't matter what direction you take. The goal is to have your thread coming out facing your work, going in that direction. So I'm just going to go around here. A couple more beads. Now I'm going to come around through these 2 here. And I'm just traveling, going through these 2 beads here at the end, like that. And now I'm going to go through these 2 beads here, like that, because I want my thread coming this direction on that accent bead that's in the center there. So whichever route works for you, pick the easiest route, it doesn't really matter, and just come around until your thread is coming out like this down the center. And then we'll be going on to the next step. For our next step, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up our work and we're going to fold this in half like that. what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on this bottom center row by adding 4mm bicones in between each set. And you're going to do that 7 times. So with your piece folded, you just hold that between your fingers. My thread's coming out right here. I'm going to pick up a 4mm bicone, and I'm going to go in through the next accent color here that's in line. Pull that through, and that's going to place the 4mm bicone in between those 2 accent 11/0s. We're going to do that again. Go through the next accent 11/0 right there. Pull. And make sure your work is snug. We're going to do that again. Pick up your 4mm, exiting here, going in through this next accent 11/0 right here. And you're going to do that 4 more times. So continue adding a 4mm bicone, and when we get to the last one, I'll show you what the next step is. Okay, here's what I have so far. Now as you're adding these, you're going to notice it's going to start to curve, so make sure you're pulling it nice and snug. And I'm picking up my last bicone here, exiting the accent here, and I'm going in through this last accent right here. So now from here we're going to advance through the next 4 beads on this side. So we're going through these 2 right here, and then these 2. So we'll do this 2 at a time. Bring your needle through those next 2 beads. And now bring your needle through these next 2 beads right here. So now for our next step, we're going to be adding SuperDuos. Now you notice you've got 2 rows here because we've got this pinched together. All of our SuperDuos we're adding is on this front side right here. So we're going to pick up a SuperDuo, doesn't matter which side, exiting this 11/0 here, going in through the next 11/0 here, like that. Pull, just make sure that your SuperDuo is seated in between. Grab your next one and go in through the next accent 11/0 right here. Very simple. Pull. And we should have a total of 7 SuperDuos. So let me grab my short one. Let me grab my other one. I'll be right back. Okay, so just make sure that you've got a total of 7 SuperDuos for each earring, total of 14. And I'm picking up my next SuperDuo, exiting this accent color, going in through the next one, like that. So continue adding 4 more SuperDuos like that, and when we get to the last one, I'll take you to the next step. Okay, I'm coming down to my last SuperDuo, and as you're doing this, make sure that you're pulling your work because you're going to see that it's starting to curve. I'm adding my last SuperDuo and coming out of this last accent bead here. And I'm going to advance my needle through the last 2 beads at the end here, like that. That completes the row. So now that that's done, we're going to flip our work over like this. Pull this thread, tail thread out of the way. And I'm going to advance my needle through these next 2 beads here on the front, like that. Pull. Now I'm going through this next accent bead right here, the top of the row. And if that gets caught on anything, just pull that out of the way. Okay, so now we're in position to start connecting our SuperDuo to this side. So we're going to take our thread that's coming out of this accent bead, and we're going through the empty hole of the SuperDuo. Then we're going to bring our needle down through the next accent bead on the row that we're working on, like that. And that's going to pull that SuperDuo down so that it's sitting crosswise on your work. Repeat, exiting this accent bead here, going through the empty hole of the next SuperDuo, and then down through the next accent bead on the front row you're working on, and pull. Very simple. So keep doing that all the way across, and when we get to the end, I'll take you on to the next step. So one more thing I'd like to add. Once you complete connecting these and you get to the end, take your tail thread and weave it through, tie a couple of knots, and then snip that off, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, I'm coming down to connecting the last SuperDuo. Exiting this accent bead, I'm going in through the empty hole of the last SuperDuo, and then through this last accent bead right here, like that. Pull nice and snug, and from here you're going to go through these next 2 beads on the end, the silver and the accent bead. Like that. Now flip this over and bring your bead through the first accent bead on this side, right there, and pull. So that's what you should have so far. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start adding our little trapeze cords here on the sides. So from here we're going to pick up 3mm bicones for this part. So I'm going to start with a 3mm bicone, an accent bead, a silver bead, and an accent bead. Like that. I'm going to repeat that 4 more times. A 3mm bicone, an accent bead, a silver, and an accent bead. Like that. Need 2 more to go. Now we're going to pick up our wire guardian. So bring your thread through, bring that down. Now bring your thread through the opposite side of the wire guardian, pinch your fingers. Bring that through. Now we are going to pick up, and let me fix my wire guardian. This one has a gap in it. Okay, once you have your wire guardian added, I'm going to pick up an accent color, a silver, and an accent color. And I'm going to bring my needle back down through this first 3mm bicone here, like that. Pull that down. Now we're going to repeat the pattern by picking up an accent, silver, an accent, and a bicone. And we're going to repeat that till we have the mirror image of this done on the other side. And I need one more set. So what we're going to do now is we're going to connect this. Our thread's coming out of this bicone. We're going to go in through this first 11-0. Actually, we need to go this way. Going through this 11-0 in this direction. And pull. Now we're going to bring our thread through the accent directly across, pull, and we're going to go back up through all of these beads to reinforce, like so. Pull, go back up through all of these beads, making sure you're not missing any. I'm going through the bicone in the center, and then these beads, and through the wire guardian, like that. Now I'm going to come down the other side through the wire guardian and all of the beads. Try to make sure you're not missing any. All the way down. Coming out of the bicone, down through the 11-0, like that. That was 2 reinforcements. Now I'm going to come back through the 11-0, right here, and back up through all of these beads and back down. So you're going to do that one more time, reinforcing, tie a couple of half-hitch knots here, and just weave your thread through and cut that off, and I'll meet you back. Okay, now that we have this reinforced, Now, I do like to have these reinforced at least 3 times just to give it some strength. The last thing we have to do is add our earring hook. So we're going to just take our flat nose pliers and open this up. Slide on our earring, close that. And there you have a beautiful pair of trapeze earrings. Aren't those beautiful? Very easy to make, and I made these as a special request to one of my viewers who wanted to know if I would do a video using SuperDuos. So here you are. I do have other videos, which I do believe I sent her some links on those other patterns that I've done with SuperDuos and other multi-hole beads. But this is using seed beads, crystals, and SuperDuos. So as you requested, here's your tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you're not a subscriber, I hope that you do subscribe. And for those of you that have subscribed, thank you very much. I'm very pleased that you come back to watch my videos. Feel free to give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. I also sell my own jewelry. You'll see a link to my website where you can check out some of the other trapeze earrings that I've made, along with some of the other beautiful creations. I will leave a link in the description box to all the suppliers where you can buy these materials. Again, thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. Happy beading!